Powerful Hurricane Erin is spinning very close to the Turks and Caicos Islands. Good Sunday afternoon, Mike Nasa with another video update on our very dangerous hurricane, the first hurricane and the first major hurricane of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, taking a look at the water vapor imagery of the entire Atlantic. Obviously, you can tell where Hurricane Erin is right there. Had been up to a Category 5 hurricane. It's been fluctuating the last 24 hours. A Category 3 forecast to again re-strengthen into a 4 and then make that turn, literally avoiding all land. Turks, Caicos, Bahamas, the East Coast, Bermuda, and the Canadian Maritimes. A perfect turn away from land, but we will still feel impacts indirectly. We have another wave here south of the Cape Verde Islands, which is looking a little bit more interesting. This could do something, although some of the models say it could do what Erin did and get swept up to the north. Others want to take it more into the Caribbean. We've got plenty of time to watch it as hurricane season rolls on. Here's the latest on Erin as of 5 p.m. Atlantic time. It was at 21.7 north, 68.5 west. Winds 125 miles per hour, moving west-northwest at 13, so it now has that northwest component to its track. And again, it should eventually make that turn by Wednesday and Thursday, avoiding land. But boy, talk about a close call. We do have tropical storm warnings in effect for the Turks and Caicos Islands, as well as the southeastern Bahamas, mainly because of this wind field getting larger, and is only expected to get even larger from here on out. So Erin's not only going to be a powerful hurricane, it should become a very large hurricane through time. Now, it had been up to a Category 5, and we've seen some inner core fluctuations, an eye wall replacement cycle. So that's basically where the little eye dissipates and the bigger, fatter eye takes shape, and we're seeing that happen. And look at that bubbling there. That is foreboding. That is a sign that Erin is going to re-intensify, probably back up to a Category 4 hurricane. On the map there, this is the island of Grand Turk. We have the Turks and Caicos Islands here. I believe this is the Inagua Islands here, and Mayanagua, the southeastern Bahamas. All of these islands are dangerously close to this hurricane, but again, the worst conditions are right in here, and so if it keeps that motion, you should just get a glancing blow, although that's why we have those tropical storm warnings in effect. Now, as far as the strength of the hurricane, again, it had been up to a Category 5. We're now in a Category 3, so it's much, much weaker. But again, anything Category 3, 4, and above, you're talking devastating and catastrophic damage potential. So again, this is a very, very powerful hurricane, and it's going to propagate very high swells and dangerous rip currents. Rainfall would be an issue if it were hitting land, but it looks like most of the heavy rain should subside over Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. The heaviest rain, 12, 16, 18, 20 inches. Look at that, out over the open ocean. So nobody will have to deal with that on land, although you could still get 2 to 4 inches over the Turks and Caicos and the southeastern Bahamas. Now, distant hurricanes can be deadly, because hurricanes that are far away can still create deadly rip currents and waves. How bad can these rip currents be? Look at this warning map. High rip current risk, obviously, for Puerto Rico and the islands, but look, from West Palm Beach all the way up to New Hampshire. Anybody there on the ocean would be affected by high rip currents. That is a very, very dangerous map. And that will be along with high swells. Now, what exactly is a rip current? That's basically where the ocean current goes out and it will suck you out to sea, and if you try and fight back, you'll drown. So if you're caught in a rip current, relax, because they don't pull you under, they just suck you out. Don't swim against it. Go up or down the beach. Don't swim back against it into the surf. And swim out of the current and then back to shore. And if you can't escape, try and float, try and tread water, and if you need help, yell and wave for somebody to come save you. Now, other than that, there's not much you can say except stay out of the water. Stay out of the water and swim along the shoreline. Again, it's very, very dangerous. Now, beyond Erin, let me zoom this in here, we have another system of note, and that is our wave I mentioned in the Atlantic. And this is a low chance for development, 30%. There's another little blob to the north, 10%. That's not going to do much. But this wave down here is our next feature. The models were enthusiastic, showing another powerful hurricane. They backed off a little bit today, and some of them are starting to show that turn like we saw with Erin. In fact, the European ensembles here, they take Erin up and out, and then here comes our other system up and out as well, which would be great news for land masses. But then if you look at the GFS model, it doesn't really take it up and out. There's just a big mess there by the time we have August 31st, the end of the month, indicating that we're going to be in the active heart of hurricane season going into September and anything's possible. But right now the focus is on Erin, and we'll continue to watch it. Number one, heavy rainfall will continue across Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands through tonight, but that should diminish by Monday. Flash and urban flooding and landslides and mudslides are possible. Number two, tropical storm conditions in the Turks and Caicos Islands and the southeastern Bahamas tonight and Monday. I mentioned how Erin's going to grow fatter, and so she'll be able to buffet you with a impact from tropical storm winds. Also, rip currents. Life-threatening surf, life-threatening rip currents. The Bahamas, the East Coast, the U.S., Bermuda, everywhere, Atlantic Canada. Just stay out of the water. And I know a lot of people are probably on vacations and stuff, but you will have a death toll from this hurricane safely out to sea from people far away from it if they get sucked out in a rip current, so they want to be safe. Finally, interests along the Outer Banks of North Carolina and Bermuda should monitor Erin because there is a risk of strong winds with the outer rain bands during the middle part of the week. Again, the timing on this map here on the right, probably Tuesday night to Wednesday night for the Outer Banks. It's really going to be close. I mean, this hurricane, talk about close calls. When it was way out there near Africa, we said, it'll probably turn, but how close will it come? This cone is pretty darn close to Bermuda and to the eastern seaboard of the U.S. In fact, look at how close the edge of the cone, if it takes the left edge, which it kind of has been, that's not too far from Hatteras. So that is a very, very close call. And if the eye of the hurricane is right here, you're going to have conditions on the west side of the hurricane impacting areas there of North Carolina. So we're going to watch it very, very carefully. Again, a very dangerous and impressive hurricane. Will have the weakness in the high pressure to the north, and so Erin will get kind of caught up here in this little weakness and be able to slide on out. If there was high pressure built in, Erin would be sailing towards Miami right now. Would be one of the worst hurricanes in American history. Instead, it's going to be a forgettable but powerful hurricane that remained out at sea. And that's all it takes, just a little bit of timing with troughs and high pressure between a hurricane that we'll remember today and forget tomorrow, and a hurricane that would have been the next Andrew or Katrina. That's why you never know. But if it impacts you directly from rip currents, or you lose somebody, or you die in a rip current, then it becomes a memorable storm. So stay out of the water, keep an eye on it. Again, it's too close for comfort. So we'll watch Erin as she turns out. We'll watch the wave off Africa and see what happens as hurricane season 2025 continues.